In 2012, a 22-year-old country singer walked into a real estate office in Nashville. She was not looking for a house to live in. She was looking at a commercial building owned by Universal Music Publishing. The asking price was $9 million. Most artists her age were buying sports cars and throwing parties. Taylor Swift bought the building, put it under a company called Nashville Strategic Realty, and started building a real estate portfolio that nobody would know about for years. Today, that portfolio is worth over $80 million. But that building was just the beginning, because behind the albums, behind the tours, behind the billion-dollar Eras Tour, Taylor Swift has quietly built a business empire that has nothing to do with music. Production companies, private jets, angel investments, commercial real estate, all owned through a web of LLCs that most fans have never heard of. Her net worth as of 2026 is over $740 million. And the businesses you did not know she owned are a huge part of that number. Let me take you through all of them. Let us start with the company that makes her films. In 2008, when Taylor Swift was just 18 years old, she founded Taylor Swift Productions. Not a vanity label, an actual film and television production banner that creates real content. You know the Folklore, the Long Pond Studio Sessions documentary on Netflix? That was produced by her company. The Grammy documentaries that followed her career, her production company. And the 2026 Eras Tour film sequel that is coming to theaters. Same company. These are not just passion projects. They are revenue generators. Streaming residuals alone from her documentary content have generated over $100 million. Every time someone watches one of her films on a platform, she makes money. Most artists sign deals where studios own their content. Taylor produces it herself and keeps the ownership. The same strategy she used to re-record her masters, applied to everything she creates. Now let us talk about the vehicles. Every major tour requires a fleet of buses and trucks to move equipment, crew, and sometimes the artists themselves across the country. Most artists rent these vehicles, they pay someone else and move on. Taylor Swift owns hers through a company called TAS Angel LLC. She has owned her tour buses since 2004. Her father, Scott Swift, advises on fleet logistics and helps manage the operations. Think about the Eras Tour for a second. It grossed over $2 billion, the largest tour in music history. Every single night required massive transportation coordination. Buses for dancers, musicians, production crew, wardrobe teams, all moving in perfect sync across continents. She does not pay rental fees for that infrastructure. She owns it. The money stays in her pocket. On top of the buses, she holds 100% ownership of 2 private jets through separate LLCs, plus an airplane hangar managed by her father. She actually sold one of the jets in 2024 after controversy over carbon emissions. But even that sale turned into profit. While other artists spend millions on luxury travel, Taylor treats transportation as an asset class. Vehicles that work for her tour and retain value when she is not using them. Remember that Nashville building she bought in 2012? That was just the first property in what became a serious real estate portfolio. Nashville Strategic Realty is her real estate holding company, and it has been quietly acquiring properties for over a decade. Here is what she owns. Multiple apartments in Tribeca, New York City. Combined value over $20 million. One of the most exclusive neighborhoods in Manhattan. Several mansions in Nashville worth over $11 million. Close to the music industry she helped build. A Beverly Hills property worth around $4 million for when she needs to be in Los Angeles. And beachfront property in Rhode Island, where she has hosted her famous 4th of July parties with celebrity friends. Add it all up and her real estate portfolio exceeds $80 million. Most people think celebrities buy big houses to show off. Taylor buys real estate the way serious investors do. Multiple properties in appreciating markets, diversified across different cities and property types. Her father, Scott Swift, was a financial advisor before becoming her manager. That background shows in every acquisition she makes. The properties are not sitting empty either. When she is not using them, several can be utilized for production shoots, private events, or simply held as appreciating assets in some of the most desirable zip codes in America. She does not talk about real estate in interviews. She does not post her properties on Instagram. But the portfolio keeps growing quietly in the background while fans focus on her music. But here is where the story gets really interesting. Before she was worth hundreds of millions, Taylor Swift was making angel investments in technology startups. She invested in Songkick, the app that alerted fans when their favorite artists announced concerts nearby. Think about how valuable that data is. knowing exactly when and where fans want to see live music. Songkick was acquired in 2017, and Taylor profited from her early stake. She invested in Pinterest before it went public, getting in at pre-IPO prices when the company was still finding its footing. She invested in Square, the payments company founded by Jack Dorsey that revolutionized how small businesses accept credit cards. And she invested in Tidal, Jay-Z's streaming platform that promised better payouts for artists. She exited Tidal profitably when the company was acquired. Each of these investments showed the same pattern. She backed companies that connected to her world: concert technology, visual platforms, music streaming, payment systems. She was not throwing money at random startups. She was investing in infrastructure that artists and fans actually use. Before the era of celebrity brands and equity deals, there was a simpler model: endorsements. Taylor Swift built a massive endorsement portfolio early in her career. Coca-Cola, CoverGirl, Keds, AT&T, Sony. Each deal was worth millions. And unlike today's celebrity partnerships, these were pure cash payments for lending her face and name to products. That endorsement money funded her early investments, the real estate purchases, the tour bus fleet, the production company infrastructure. While other young artists spent endorsement checks on lifestyle, Taylor converted them into assets. By the time she reached her 30s, she did not need endorsements anymore. The businesses she built with that money were generating their own revenue. She essentially used brand deals as startup capital. Every check from Coca-Cola or CoverGirl became a down payment on something she would own forever. That is a level of financial thinking most artists never reach, and she was doing it in her early 20s. And then there is the comeback that changed everything. In 2019, her former record label sold her masters without giving her the chance to buy them. Every song she recorded from her first 6 albums was now owned by someone else. Most artists would have been devastated. Years of work, billions in value, gone. Taylor did something unprecedented. She re-recorded every single album, created new versions called Taylor's version, and owned 100% of the new masters. This was not just an emotional statement, it was a business strategy. Every time someone streams a Taylor's version album instead of the original, the money goes to her, not the investors who bought her old catalog. The re-records have generated hundreds of millions in streaming revenue, and they appreciate in value over time as her catalog grows. She turned a devastating loss into a blueprint that other artists are now copying. Ownership over employment, every single time. So let me put this entire empire together. Taylor Swift Productions generates over $100 million from documentary and film content she produces and owns. TAS Angel LLC owns her tour buses, private jets, and airplane hangar, transportation that supports a $2 billion tour without rental costs. Nashville Strategic Realty holds an $80 million real estate portfolio across New York, Nashville, Beverly Hills, and Rhode Island. Her angel investments in Songkick, Pinterest, Square, and Tidal generated early returns that funded her bigger moves. Endorsement deals with Coca-Cola, CoverGirl, Keds, AT&T, and Sony provided the capital to build everything else. And her re-recorded masters represent a catalog worth hundreds of millions that she owns outright. Her net worth as of 2026 is over $740 million, on track to become a billionaire within years. But here is what separates Taylor Swift from every other musician. She thinks like an owner, not an artist. When the industry tried to take her masters, she did not complain. She rebuilt. When other artists pay for tour infrastructure, she owns it. When endorsement checks arrive, she converts them into assets. When she makes documentaries, she keeps the rights. Every single decision flows through one question: do I own this, or does someone else? That mindset is why she went from country singer to business mogul. The Eras Tour was not just a concert series, it was a demonstration of what happens when an artist owns every piece of their operation. $2 billion in gross revenue, the largest tour in music history. And because she owns her transportation, her production company, and her masters, a bigger percentage of that money stayed with her than with any artist who came before. The fans saw the costumes and the performances. The business world saw something else entirely: a vertically integrated empire that controls every revenue stream from creation to delivery. Most people know Taylor Swift as a songwriter who became the biggest pop star in the world. What they do not know is that she became one of the smartest business operators in entertainment at the same time. Production companies, real estate portfolios, private aviation, angel investments, master recordings, all owned, all appreciating, all generating income, whether she releases new music or not. The businesses you did not know she owned are the reason her wealth will outlast her time on stage. And here is the part that really matters. She built all of this while being one of the most public figures on the planet. Every relationship analyzed, every outfit critiqued, every word examined. Most people would crack under that pressure. Most people would lose focus. Taylor Swift used that attention as fuel, converted fame into ownership, turned every headline into another opportunity to build something permanent. The music made her famous, the businesses made her wealthy, and the combination of both made her untouchable. That is the difference between a celebrity and a mogul. Celebrities fade when the spotlight moves on. Moguls build empires that generate wealth for generations. Taylor Swift figured that out before she turned 25, and she has been executing that playbook ever since. Now tell me in the comments, which one of these businesses surprised you the most? Did you know about her real estate company and her early investments in Pinterest and Square? Drop your answer below, because Taylor Swift stopped being just a musician a long time ago. She became an empire, and the empire is still growing.